What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into the Jets Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we got our official Week 1 preview. New York Jets taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in MetLife, and our good old friend, Aaron Rodgers, returning. So we'll dive into it all on today's show. But speaking about Week 1, if you guys want to get the good vibes going here early and want the Jets to beat the Steelers and start off the season 1-0, go down there, hit that thumbs up icon. Don't jinx it. You guys want to get all the good mojo, all the good vibes you can, go down there, hit that thumbs up icon. All right, so how we're going to format today's show. So first off, we're going to be doing a deep dive into the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Jets offseason, talk about some key moves that each team has made. I'll also talk about some injury news, all positive on the New York Jets front, but there is one key injury for the Steelers that we need to keep our eyes out on. And also I got my 5 keys to victory. How do the Jets get it done? I got 5 ways on the tail half of today's show. But let's start off here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, no change at head coach for the damn past 20 seasons in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin still being the head coach there. Offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith. They also have defensive coordinator, Terrell Austin. And the Steelers this past season went 10-7, about more of the same of what they've been doing over the last couple of seasons. But then that quarterback right there, Aaron Rodgers, will be under center for the Steelers during their Week 1 matchup versus the Jets. But last year, the Steelers, they hit the ground running really when Russell Wilson took over at first, being the starting quarterback for Justin Fields. But then in the second half of the year, mainly those last 5 to 6 games, they did struggle a bit. But they were still very productive. Like, they were 16th overall in points per game. They were 7th in points per game allowed. And they had a very good turnover margin at plus 16. Now, this Steelers team, they are built off the culture and that defense. I think this defense for Pittsburgh has a chance to be a top 5 unit, if not the best unit in the National Football League, because of guys like T.J. Watt, an elite pass rush, and then also them getting Jalen Ramsey in that secondary. They got a lot of dudes on that side of the field, and plus with Mike Tomlin calling the shots, like, they should have a very, very productive defense. And they also made some big-time moves this offseason. They traded for DK Metcalf, also traded away George Pickens. They brought in Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith in a trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick. Then they also drafted 2 guys that I'm a big fan of. Derek Harmon, took him in the first round. Now, he won't be out there for the Week 1 game. And then Caleb Johnson, the running back. He is listed as their third stringer right now, but I'm assuming after a couple of weeks, it may not be Week 1, but he should take over as their RB2, if not the RB1, at some point this season. And the biggest addition they made, good old friend, Aaron Rodgers, back under center for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But for the New York Jets, it is completely different from this past season. Now, obviously, the Jets last year with Aaron Rodgers playing all 17 games, went 5-12, but they got a new head coach, Aaron Glenn, offensive coordinator, Tanner Engstrad, and defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes. And obviously, we got Justin Fields at the quarterback position. And I'm most curious to watch is everything Aaron Glenn has talked about this offseason, being a physical football team, building through the trenches, being that old school early 2000s feel. It has came to fruition during training camp, OTAs, every step along the offseason process. But can it come to fruition Week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers? That's the number one thing I'm looking out for, because you can talk about it, you can say all the right things, you can win, the media room every time you're up there, but can we see it Week 1 against Pittsburgh? And, last year, the Jets, they struggled. Like, it was not a good year. You guys all know that. 19.9 points per game, 24th in the league. Defense took a massive, massive step back, giving up 23.8 points per game, which was 20th. And then turnover margin, not good there as well. -1, which was middle of the pack at 16th in the league. But offensively for the Jets, we're going to have a whole new feel for this team, because last year it was, hey, Aaron Rodgers, you're calling the shots. We're throwing to our weapons on the outside, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams. And now this upcoming season, it is completely different. It is built through the run game. It is built to the strengths of the quarterback being Justin Fields. And he was the biggest addition the Jets have made this offseason, was bringing in that new quarterback in Fields. They also brought in Brandon Stevens. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan of this contract when it was originally reported. You're giving a guy $12 million who got benched last year by the Baltimore Ravens, but he played some good football during the preseason, and all the reports are suggesting that he should have a pretty damn good year. But then you also drafted Mason Taylor. You picked up a really good run-blocking wide receiver in Josh Reynolds. And then probably the move of the offseason for the Jets was Harrison Phillips, getting that run-stuffing defensive tackle who can two-gap at a high level. That is huge. Then you also drafted Armand Membu with the 7th pick in the draft. And, there is no doubt the Jets have a completely different feel compared to this last season. And I think it starts up front. It starts in the trenches for this football team, where you're looking at, the offensive line, for example. Cam Membu, Cam Fashanu, can they take those next steps and be immediate impact guys in years 2 and years 1 of their NFL career, because I got full faith in the interior of the offensive line with Tippmann, Simpson, and AVT there, that they should play some good football. But then even defensively, like adding a guy like Harrison Phillips, where I thought stopping the run defensively could be a major issue. There's no doubt about it. But you add a guy like Harrison Phillips next to Quinnen Williams, he is so good at two-gapping and playing the run. It should just free up Quinnen Williams, especially on those pass rushing downs where he can just pin his ears back, get to the quarterback. And obviously, you got Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald on the outsides. I think they should have monster years and honestly a monster week one. I think both those guys could get the better of the Steelers' offensive tackles. So this Jets team, it is completely different from where they were last year to where they are now. And it all started when Aaron Glenn pretty much told Rodgers to F off at that one meeting damn near about 4 or 5 months ago at this point. But I'll ask you guys this. Predict the score for me down below in the comments section. Jets versus Steelers, week one in MetLife. That stadium is going to be on fire. That tailgate outside of the stadium is going to be electric. So I'll give you guys my score prediction at the tail half of today's show. But you guys drop those in there right now. Predict the score. Jets versus Steelers. All right, coming up next, do want to get you guys the injury news on the Pittsburgh Steelers front and the New York Jets front. Then my 5 keys to victory here in a second. But before we do so, today's episode of the Jets Report is brought to you by Prize Picks. And football is just around the corner, but college football is here. So don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks. And if you guys download the Prize Picks app today and plug in promo code CLNS, we'll hook you guys up with $50 in lineups after you put your first $5 lineup. And Prize Picks is simple to play. All you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if you guys get your picks right, you could cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks is also the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. They also offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. And speaking about week one of the football season, this Thursday night, the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. They got a free square for you guys. They got a free winner. We're one Dak Prescott passing yard, which gets you guys one free win on Prize Picks. So make sure you guys include this max discount into all of your lineups for week one of the football season. And if you guys download the Prize Picks app today and plug in that promo code CLNS, we'll hook you guys up with $50 in lineups after you put your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you put your first $5 lineup. A massive shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's edition of the Jets Report. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, let's talk about the Steelers injury news here. So Derek Harmon already ruled out for week one, so that's a massive loss for the Steelers front. Nick Herbig is dealing with a hamstring injury, assuming he's going to be able to go. And then same with Calvin Austin and Alex Highsmith. Both those guys will be out there for the Steelers this upcoming week. But still, losing Derek Harmon, big loss for the Steelers front. And then we'll see about Nick Herbig. I'm assuming he's going to be ready to go, but definitely something to monitor, and we'll keep you guys posted throughout the week. But good news on the Jets front, they're healthy. Sauce Gardner out there at practice today. John Simpson out there at practice. Same with Tyrod Taylor. Aaron Glenn said all 3 of these guys will be ready to roll for week one. And the Jets are pretty healthy top to bottom. Like, there's really no major injury that, could impact this roster heading into the season. So that's great news that they're ready to roll. And, the Jets, if they want to get that 7th seed in the AFC, which is the goal of this football team, they got to stay healthy this entire season. And if you guys want the Jets to stay healthy, let's get the good vibes going again. Hit that thumbs up icon, like today's video. If you want the Jets to stay healthy all season long, go down there and hit that thumbs up icon. All right, let's talk about the fun part of today's show. My 5 keys to victory, and we're going to start off up front, the battle in the trenches. The Jets have to be the more physical football team week one. And this is a lofty goal because the Steelers, under Mike Tomlin, one of the most physical football teams in the National Football League. But this game, specifically for the Jets, it will be won or lost up front in the trenches. And that's on both sides of the field. Like, if the Jets offensive line, if they're able to get downhill, put some pressure on the Steelers at front 7, that would be a huge advantage. But also same with the Jets defensive line. If you're able to stop the run early and you allow those pass rushers to pin their ears back, get home to Aaron Rodgers, who is obviously not the most mobile quarterback in the world at this point, that could be huge for this team. So it starts up front. Can you get home with 4? Can you stop the run? And then offensively, can you be the one running the football? Which, having Justin Fields, Braylon Allen, Breece Hall, and this new improved offensive line, that scenario of them being a dominant rushing offense is on the table. We'll see if it starts week 1 against a very tough test in the Pittsburgh Steelers. But number 2 for me, I'm going to go Justin Fields, fourth quarter passing. Now, I have said the difference between the Jets winning 5 games this year and the Jets winning 10 games this upcoming season is on the right arm of Justin Fields, because I think the floor for this football team is higher than people give it credit for. And that's kind of more faith in the coaching staff and the overall roster top to bottom. But if they want to be an effective football team and they want to potentially win some games at a high level and make the playoffs, it starts with Justin Fields. It starts with that right arm, because I could see this game playing out. It's 13-10, 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Can Justin Fields go get that game-winning touchdown drive? That's going to be a huge question mark for this team, not only in this game, but for the entire season. And then we got to talk about a matchup I'm going to be watching closely this entire game. First-round pick, 7th overall selection, Missouri offensive tackle Armand Membou. Can he hold his own against TJ Watt? By no means am I expecting Membou to win this matchup. I'm just saying he just can't get his ass kicked, because TJ Watt is the best pass rusher in the NFL. And when he's fully healthy and he's ready to go, he'll be a problem for Membou. And I guarantee you, when Membou is on a podcast in about 3 to 4 years from now, and hopefully this guy's racking up all pros, he's racking up Pro Bowl selections, they ask him, hey, Armin, what was your welcome to the NFL moment? It will be, yeah, well, I was playing this guy week 1, one of the better ones in the league. So if he can just hold his own, not get his ass kicked, that would be huge, because I guarantee you, number 90, he'll be lining directly across from him. I'm assuming the Jets will chip with a running back or a tight end somewhat, but there will also be some plays 3rd and long. It would just be one-on-one. So can he just hold his own? Even if he gets beat, it depends on how bad you get beat. Like if TJ Watt, he just goes untouched straight to the quarterback, then that's a problem. But if Membou can just put up a fight for 1 to 2 seconds, that will be huge. And, another, key to victory for me, red zone execution here for the Jets. Them having Justin Fields now should be an advantage in the red zone, because having that dual threat quarterback, you can pull out the QB powers left and right, up the middle, whatever you want to call. It should be a huge advantage for this team in the red zone. And plus, if you talk about being a physical football team, why can't you just go run the ball 4 times on the goal line? Like, they should be able to do that. Also, I'm curious to see if the Jets will finally bring out that tush push, which obviously they didn't unveil during the preseason. I think that was mainly because they didn't want Fields to get hurt in those situations, but I'm assuming the Jets will use that card at least once during week 1. If there's a 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 situation, watch out for the tush push, but got to be able to execute in the red zone. Then if you could somehow pull off a play action, get Mason Taylor open in the flat or something along those lines, that could be huge as well. And then lastly, mainly I just want to show some love to, I think, one of the most underrated players in the National Football League, and that's Garrett Wilson. And I'll probably have this as a key to victory every single week. And it's just talking about the number 5 impact. And I mean that on 2 fronts, where Garrett Wilson, he'll be probably getting Jalen Ramsey a lot. He'll be getting 4 eyeballs on him any given play. But if he is getting that attention, that should open stuff up for other guys. So then you're looking at a guy like Mason Taylor. You're looking at a guy like Josh Reynolds. Can they step up? But if they do leave Garrett Wilson one-on-one, which I think it would be very rare that they do, especially in this week 1 matchup, he's got to be able to go out there and dominate. Because he is, in my opinion, a top 7 wide receiver. He's one of the best wide receiver ones in the league. Can he be that guy where he reaches the level of a Jamar Chase, of a Justin Jefferson, of CeeDee, of A.J. Brown? That's going to be a key part in this matchup. But in the end, I think the Jets are going to start off 1-0. I think it's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a dirty, grimy, gritty game. But I think the storyline of this game will be the Jets' defense. I got the Jets winning 17-13. And again, this comes down to Justin Fields. If he scores 2 touchdowns and this offense can get the ball in the end zone 2 times, I'm very confident of them winning this football game. And also the same goes for the defense. If Rodgers is driving on the field, if you can stall them out a couple of times, that's going to be the difference. So red zone execution, winning that battle up front, if you can do all those things, I think the Jets got a good chance to shock the NFL world and move to 1-0 to start the NFL season. But if you guys made it to the end of today's show, we appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. And if you guys did just that, hit me with a Go Jets down below in the comment section. I can't wait for this. We're going to be going live on the channel, so make sure you guys are subscribed. We'll keep you guys posted with injury reports throughout the entire week, recapping the game on Sunday. We got all types of content heading your way. So hit that subscribe button. See you guys next time. Go Jets.